Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast, the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Ronnie, how happy.
That's right. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as we always like to say, the fun is all in the trying. And today we are, well, I got to say, I think we got a little bit of a party going on.
Party. Yeah. Little bit of something. I don't know what it is. Feels good outside, like a victory of some sort. I don't know what the reason is, though.
It's a MAGA party. And ain't no party like a MAGA party because a MAGA party don't stop.
MAGA party don't stop, baby.
You know, I have to tell you, it was. Last night was interesting only in that so it was fun. I had a great time. I had a great time watching all of the liberals lose their mind. The problem was those who were I was really hoping would just lose their minds. It seemed like they had already prepared themselves for this actually happening. And it was almost like, come on, y'all. I want to see a real meltdown. And that really didn't happen. That really didn't start till this morning on social media.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it last night, and this had me concerned, I'm sure you as well. Well, we got to the point where, okay, we're getting down to 70, 80, 90%. He clearly has a lead, but they're not calling them. So then the fear started to be, oh, here we go again. We're going to go through the night, and they're going to have all these, oh, look, we found a whole bunch of votes. We counted all the absentees, and there was 200,000 of them. Even though we only sent out 50,000 ballots, we got 200,000 back, and now Trump has lost. That's what the concern was, and I think that's why a lot of that wasn't going on last night, because a lot of the assumed they were going to do the same kind of nonsense.
Well, I think what it came down to was they were like, okay, all right, who's got the extra ballots? Do you have the extra ballots? I don't have the extra ballots. Do you have the extra ballots? I'm sorry, who's got the extra ballots?
Yeah, that was it. And I mean, listen, it's 6 p.m. on the East Coast. We've still got news organizations refusing to call a couple of the states. I'm like, hello, there's like 8 votes out there outstanding. How can you not call this thing?
So the group that I work with, we used Decision Desk, and we actually had called it somewhere around 10:45. We had called the election for Donald Trump because it just seemed kind of obvious. To give you, Mike, just a little bit, and I'll be honest, I was very conservative in my predictions, but this is what I sent out yesterday. I basically said that Trump was going to win 300 plus electors, and now we have him at 301. I said that the GOP was going to win majorities in both the House and the Senate. We know for sure we've got the Senate, and all projections are showing that we're going to win the House, and that Democrats would riot in at least 3 blue cities. Now, right now, the riots haven't happened yet. And I'll be honest, that's the one prediction I'm hoping that I get wrong. But I'm also counting between now and inauguration. So there's going to be at least riots in 3 different cities relating to Donald Trump's election.
Well, yeah, they didn't riot right away again because they did not know that they had lost. They thought the cheat was going to come in, and the call for riots didn't happen until Kamala Harris got up and did her secession speech. So.
Oh yeah, well if you want to call it, I've surrendered I concede this election, but I have not conceded the fight. What does that mean?
Yeah, we're going to have a peaceful transition, yet keep fighting. Everyone must fight. You have to fight. Keep fighting. Hello? You sound like you're inciting violence.
Well, I mean, if you use their standard, I'm just saying, if we're gonna be honest, if we're gonna use their standard, the standard that they have put forward, then yeah, y'all are kind of instigating violence. If anyone engages in any violence, well, then y'all are part of the problem.
Yep. That's right. Exactly right. Yeah, she spent 20 minutes calling for fights. You must fight. Fight. Right. We must all come together and obey the Constitution and fight. We have to fight.
We've got to fight.
Fighting.
We've got to keep fighting. You still fighting, Mike?
Fight. Must fight.
All right, Mikey. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get into the program. And do me a favor. Why don't you go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors? I just realized some of my screens I did not change, so I'm going to go in the back and I'm going to do that right now. So do me a favor. Go ahead and you can take your time with our shout outs.
Take our time. So Craig's giving me the stall. So let's say hi to our good friends in Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Yourself in the last year, probably one of their barrels and you don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct. Just go to hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. You want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market? Get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, outdoor gear, web gear, hunting gear, whatever it may be, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit their website. All you got to do is follow the link in the description to this program. Go there, and if you like what you see, spend some money with them. And, make sure you tell them the guys over at The Rundown sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you are watching the program live, that's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Rumble, or on Twitter, go ahead and comment. We are taking your comments. If you have something entertaining to say, we want to hear it. You don't have to agree with us. We don't have to agree with you. Just make it interesting, funny, interesting, insightful. Actually, if you say something just plain dumb, that might be interesting as well. So anyway, encourage you to go ahead and do that. So check that out, folks. Go ahead. Once again, visit us today. Anyway, let's see here. Okay, now I thought it did that. Let's try this real quick. I'm going to go to my full screen here. Bam, like that. And then we're going to get into today's news stories. Well, now, as you know, as we've talked about, Trump won, right? Not a mystery. We all know that Donald Trump, well, first of all, I think to many of us, we kind of knew it was going to go down like this. I mean, not down like this. We knew he was going to win, right? It was kind of obvious. All the numbers were there. All you had to do was look at history. History said that Donald Trump notoriously underpolls, right? And sure enough, that was consistent with this particular election. His history in particular, current polling would tell you that the issues that people are interested in were the economy, were the border, and the economy, the border, and crime. Democrats did nothing to adjust that or address that. The other thing is that if you're looking at history, in this case right now, 72% of voters said they are not happy with the direction the country's going. They said they did not believe in the direction that the country is going. Well, sure enough, guess what? No party in power has ever been reelected when the stats are that high, when the dissatisfaction numbers are that high. And that's exactly where we got. Now, this is the one that we use. Now, never mind the Observer, but the Decision Desk is the decision one that we use now. They were the first folks to basically call the race for Donald Trump. Actually, the first ones to call it both in 2020 and in 2016, and they called it correctly both times. So that was what was so interesting about this. So last night as of 10:35 or 10:45. No, not 10:35. I'm trying to think here at the time. No, it was about 10 o'clock. About 10 o'clock Pacific, they had already called the race. They had already called the race for Donald Trump. If you notice here, this didn't even include. You notice right here that didn't even include. Well, no, actually, no, it did include. He took the what's called the blue wall, which is Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. He basically swept all of the swing states, and mind you, even though it's an electoral sweep, overall, I mean, he won by a decent amount, but it wasn't like, I don't want to put it. It wasn't like he got an well, let me clarify. He got a majority of the popular vote as well. But it was a close race, like people thought it would be. I don't think in most of those swing states, I don't think he won by. I think the largest margin of victory was what, 4 points, Mike?
In the
swing states.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a relatively close election electorally. I mean, overall, although I will say he won by about 5 million votes. That's more than Hillary says she won by in the popular vote in 2016. I don't know do you know what the spread was in the, was it about 5 million in the 2020 election? It was about a 5 million difference between Biden and Trump.
I don't remember. I know in 2016 it was 2 million.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see how the popular vote went in 2024. It was in 2020. I'm sorry. It was.
Now I know in 2020, when you look at the swing states, only about 88,000 votes was the difference between the winner and the loser in the states that really mattered, in the swing states.
It was a 7 million swing.
Okay.
Joe Biden had a 7 million more.
So he got 80 million. Donald Trump got how many million that year?
Donald Trump got 74 million.
74 million.
Biden got 80
and they're still, by the way, so in other words, it's at 72.5 and they're still counting.
Yeah.
Think about this. 14 million less votes is what Harris got.
Yes.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Well, and when you tally up the vote tallies, Craig, you have about 19 million less votes this year. Makes you go, doesn't it? 19 million less votes. I'm not saying. I'm just saying a lot of those votes came from a plastic tub underneath the table after the vote was called to an end. We saw it on the video.
Well, we do know that ballots were in a tub under a table. And yes, we do know that apparently some votes, not saying those votes, didn't show up this time, or at least there didn't appear to be any tubs under tables this time.
Yeah, and from everything that I saw, Craig, the lines, the amount of time people waited to vote was all about the same. It wasn't 19 million different. That's for sure. We saw all those votes go in, and I know you saw it as well as I did. The one thing that put this over the edge was Donald Trump consistently pulled about 5%, 10% more every place that he did last time, and she received 5 to 10% less than Biden received on the last time. So he definitely moved up. The message was correct, and I believe you're right. I think James Carville was the only one on the list I ever heard say, the economy is the number one issue, and everybody else, including the media, said no, that's got nothing to do with it. Well, guess what? The people decided that Carville was right.
Well, and that's the funny part is it's like, do you people not understand just the basic? I mean, how do I want to put this? If all you had to do was look at what the people were saying and all of the exit polls were telling you, the economy was the number one issue. And what gets me, and this gets me kind of into the second piece of our thing today, and that is the gaslighting. I mean, the flat out, just literal gaslighting that is taking place on behalf of the left, that the left is putting out there. how they're, I mean, the crap that they are saying is beyond frustrating and angering. Check this out.
NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president. And for so many of you watching right now, that news is, to say the least, a lot to digest. I understand that personally. After he lost 4 years ago, he refused to accept the outcome and incited a violent insurrection on our nation's capital. He's campaigned while facing criminal indictments related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 results, and he's run as a convicted felon. During this campaign, he has also promised to essentially be an authoritarian leader, to use power like no American president ever has before, and wield that power to go after his political enemies. This is a man.
Say really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman.
Your thoughts this morning? Well, first, I think we have to acknowledge that Donald Trump knows our country better than we do. I think he figured out that anger and, frankly, fear were way more powerful than appealing to people's better angels.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck, 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 fuck,
That's how I felt watching all of those responses. I'm sorry for those of you who watched and you know get you know your panties in a wad over foul language. Sometimes a good cussing is just it's the best way to express how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing when you go across the board with all the media outlets that there's excuses, right? Here they are. This is the reason. Oh, it's just the reason this happened, and then you can watch them turn. At this point in the day, Craig, they've turned to now blaming the voters. It's the voters' fault this happened because the voters don't know how to vote.
Sorry about that. I forgot to remove the video. Keep going.
Yeah, the media knows better. The media knows better. It's the voters' fault. They should have listened to the media. And then this comes down to, we talked about this, 2 weeks ago, the massive amount of butthurt coming out of the media because they're done. They're done. Especially if you've got a guy like, I don't know, Elon Musk in your cabinet now or on your staff. You could forget about the mainstream media's importance at all. You'll be lucky if people will be watching the evening sportscast on your local news.
Well, the worst thing about it is, I think for the Democrat Party, the thing that is going to hurt them the most is they've completely and utterly lost the message. Right now, the liberal elites, or not even liberal, the left-wing elites in their party, which are, by the way, a very, very small minority, have jumped the shark. They are so out of touch with where the American people are at. And that's the key message here, is that they thought that abortion was the big thing. They thought defending democracy by putting up a candidate who nobody voted for, they thought that was the message and what everyone was concerned with. And what it really comes down to is this. People are like, look, stuff costs 25% more than it did before he got in office, right? They're like, I'm watching people stream across our southern border. At the same time, I'm paying higher taxes for all of this stuff, and they're getting all this free stuff. I'm watching crime go up, and then I'm reading reports in the news about the Venezuelan or the Haitian or the Mexican or the Chinese immigrant that has come across. And not that it's about the country that they're from, but the fact that they've come across and then they're committing crimes. And you're telling me, oh, that ain't happening. These are not the criminals you are looking for. These are not the policies that are affecting your life. What the heck?
No one's eating the dogs.
No one's eating the dogs. Exactly. No one's eating the dogs.
Yeah.
They're eating the geese, but they're not eating the dogs. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, just amazing. They push the abortion. It's abortion, and you and I talked about it on here. Okay, is it important to people? Yeah, it's important to some people, but it's not the number one concern. Absolutely not. That's a 50-year-old issue that some old hippie women are worried about. There's plenty of people out there that are concerned about it, but they wanted to make it that because that's the one thing they could say they could fight. Oh, we can go back and fight. If you just put more of us in and vote more of us, we'll change that.
But even with that, Mike, they're lying in their. I mean, that's what gaslighting is. They're literally lying. It's not like they're taking a stand for something that is righteous, right, in their eyes. They're lying. Just about every state that has a restriction on abortion has an exemption for the life of the mother or for rape and incest. Most of them are 15 weeks. I think there's one with a 12-week, and I think there's one or two that have where it's at 6 weeks. But the overwhelming majority are at 15 weeks, which is basically the first trimester, which, if you look at every single poll, is where most Americans are. It's where most European nations are that have restrictions on abortion. It is insane. In other words, what they're saying is, with the exception of protecting the life of the mother, we don't want you doing late-term abortions. That's too close to being a baby. Right?
Yes.
I'm sitting up here and I'm like, well, he's gonna put his enemies in jail. Well, I'm sorry, didn't Steve Bannon just get out of jail for contempt of a liberal Congress?
Yeah. And like all the political advertisements were lies. It was lies, lies, lies. I can't tell you the number of commercials we had to sit here and watch on abortion in Florida. Telling us how there was no exemption, that a doctor was turned down doing an abortion so he didn't go to jail after a woman had been raped. Absolute lies, all 100% lies.
Well, and and the fact that they get away with it, and the media participates in it, and that's really where I think it's even worse, because at least if the media had held the people responsible, and that's, by the way, Democrats, if I blame anybody, I blame the liberals, because they should have been keeping you guys honest, and they didn't. They never did, because they're part of you, because they went to the Harvards and the Yales with you. They were in your journalism class, or your woke whatever it is, DEI class program or whatever it is. You went to school with them, you're friends with them, so they wouldn't hold you accountable. And it cost you.
Yeah. They cannot be honest and win, because if they were honest on their platforms, then it would just say, I want to be an elite, but they can't be honest about what they really want. Otherwise,
well,
then it would be a landslide,
And understand, when they call Donald Trump a tyrant, and they say he's got fascist tendencies. That's what the term John Kelly used. Really, what they're mistaking is, this is a guy who's a CEO of his own company. He brings in his directors, whatever you want to call them, his managers, people who run his company, and he says, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, and you to do this. Now go do it. And when you're president of the United States, that's what he expected to be able to do. And he couldn't. And so I get it, because, he thinks that he man, if I didn't have to go through all these politics of what we do, all these, procedures and bureaucracy, I'd be able to get a lot more done a lot faster. He's not wrong. For better or for worse, he'd be able to get more done. And he's not, by the way, the only person who thought like that. Consider Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was a straight up, well, I won't call him a Marxist yet, but he definitely liked the idea of socialism. He definitely believed that experts should be running the country, not the people. So, I know, it's just, once again, it's one of those things, and by the way, I'm not comparing Donald Trump to Marxists or to Woodrow Wilson. My point is that that's sort of there are people who believe that on all levels of the spectrum. It's not a liberal thing. It's not a conservative thing. The difference is he actually still went through the process. He actually still followed the law. He still went through the politics. He played the political games that he needed to play and got stuff done.
Yes, he did.
Just
Yes, he
saying.
did. Yeah, well, that's the difference. Like you said, in big business, you go into business, and a businessman is going to make a decision based on the bottom line,
Right.
not based on polls, not based on favors, not based on who I owe this to. It's, hey, you know what? That doesn't work. We're changing it. Because guess what? We'll be throwing good money at bad. Oh no, sir, we can't do that. We have to worry about what the Congress says or this and that. No. Here's what we're doing. I'm the boss. We're doing it. You don't like it, you're fired.
Right. And if you look at in areas where he actually was able to fully implement his policy, and I won't even say necessarily implement his policy, he was able to do what he does. And once again, we'll go back to the whole thing. When you look at NATO, he went to NATO and he said, you guys need to pay your fair share. Only 4 out of 20 some odd countries are paying their fair share. If you don't pay your fair share to NATO, which is supposed to be 2% of your GNP, then we're out. We're not covering the cost for your national defense. By the time he was done, 18 nations were paying their fair share. Did he ever really intend to pull us out of NATO? Probably not. I doubt he did. But he made sure that they got on. Over half of the majority of the countries that he threatened with tariffs, all he said was, look, or companies, he said, look, if you go to build your product in that country over there instead of building it here where you should be building it, I'm going to put a tariff on it and you're not going to make any money off of it. And they decided, maybe I won't put my factory over there.
That's right.
It worked.
Maybe I will invest in America.
Maybe I will invest in America because you've made it so that it's unprofitable for me not to.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't like tariffs, but Donald Trump has shown that the threat of tariffs can be effective.
They listen, tariffs level the playing field with third world countries that can build your product for 2 cents an hour. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Well, exactly. Well, and by the way, also happen to have in many cases tariffs against our products.
Yes. Exactly right.
No small thing, no small thing.
Yep.
By the way, Donald Trump, unlike some other folks, when he actually had coattails, and this is an important one to recognize. Donald Trump actually had some coattails when it came to this election. And when we look at the congressional balance of power, now, once again, I'm using these numbers because this is from Decision Desk, which, in my opinion, is the most accurate of all of them. I mean, they appear to be the most accurate of all of them. But if you look here, the Senate results, so we've got 52 Senate seats. Democrats have 55. That means that there are still 3 seats that are in play. They're still counting on 3 seats. But that having been said, we have a majority in the House of Representatives. And in the event that we lose a few, not the House of Representatives, in the Senate. And if we lose a few, well, guess what? We got J.D. Vance as our tiebreaker in the event that we lose a few. And then as of right now, we've gained 2 seats in the House of Representatives. We're at 210 Republicans. We need 218 for a majority. And it's looking, Mike, by all indications. In fact, I haven't seen anybody refute the fact that Republicans will have a majority in the House.
Yes. Yep, that's what it looks like. That's how it's tracking. They did, like you said, Craig. There was a lot of riding his coattails. I will tell you though that even all of the Republican senators and congressmen that enjoyed victories, their margins still weren't as large as President Trump's. I know I tracked it down here in Florida. He definitely got the wider of all the Republicans, but there was a lot of coattails riding. Yep. So Craig is making some hand signs there. He's really making baking a cake. If you knew what he was doing, he's baking a cake. If you knew he was coming.
Can you hear me now?
Now I got you, sir.
Yeah. So had a power issue over here. All of my monitors, everything that was up over here went out, and the thing that it was plugged into happened to also be my what do I want to say? It happened to be where my microphone was plugged into as well.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get everything all fixed back and recombobulated.
Yep.
Where were we at?
We were talking about you baking a cake. It's pumpkin cake, probably this time of year, pumpkin spice, and how Donald Trump loves pumpkin spice because it's the best pumpkin spice ever. Nobody makes a pumpkin spice like Craig and Donald Trump do. It's the best.
Nobody makes a pumpkin spice like Craig and Donald Trump. Really?
And you ask anyone, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone knows.
Everyone? Really?
Everyone knows. Well, at least 52%, right? They know. So. Yeah.
Oh, where is it at? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find my background.
All right. That's all right. The I think again, like I say, the most important thing that I saw here with Donald Trump was it was immediately right up there and thankful and grateful, and the it's almost as if someone had to go counsel Kamala Harris because she went and played she pulled the Hillary. She went and played the spoiled brat and didn't want to talk because she knows she was in the losing column. That they had to wait for the next day, wait to see if the cheat came through, right, so to speak. So, but it did not. Again, my concern is she's called for fighting, fight. We're going to pay attention to the Constitution, but we're going to fight. I also noticed, Craig, one of the big stories that I know we wanted to talk about was that the Department of Justice has come out and said, well, I guess all of the pending trials and investigations we have against Trump, we need to close them out because they know that there's nothing they can do. They cannot bring them to a conclusion before he's set to take office. And the policy is that you cannot charge a sitting president with a crime. That's what impeachment is for, so that they have to close these things out, which was interesting to see. And I know there were some complaints that I saw. In fact, there was one attorney general from New York State where she said that this is not correct. Donald Trump should have to face a jury because that's how our justice system works. And I think, Craig, you and I were the same in our response there of we just had a jury of 140 million people give their opinion. It's time to move on.
And we've seen pretty much all the evidence. So here's the thing. The American people, once again, polls have shown that something like 67 to 70% of voters believe that it was a political prosecution. That this was something they deliberately went after Donald Trump, and they went after him for political purposes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how you get around that, but that seemed to be where the American people had decided things were.
Yes. Yeah. Easy. Yeah, it just got me. Oh, well, a jury should be able to decide. What's a jury's a representation of the public, right? And you just got the biggest jury ever. You got a nationwide jury that just gave you your answer.
Yeah. No, most definitely. All right, folks, so that's going to now bring us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. Okay, the first one we have here is brought to us by the Babylon Bee, our folks, friends over at the Babylon Bee. It says here, Democrats call for abolishing the popular vote. Oh, ouch. They're no longer concerned, Mike, with just the Electoral College. They want to go after the popular vote as well.
See, that's the irony, folks, because they wanted to get the Electoral College because they kept losing the Electoral College. But now they've lost the popular vote. They want to get rid of the popular vote. You see the irony in that, folks?
There you go. Now that they're not popular.
Yes.
There you go. Which, by the way, also brings up this one. I love this one right here. It says here, Joy Reid explodes on air.
Listen, Craig, I think I posted it earlier today, too, that as soon as, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock this morning, realized that the numbers were going to be made official and he was going to be the man, I posted, cannot wait to watch The View today. And it did not let me down.
I did not get a chance to watch it. Was it really that good?
Oh, listen, Joy came out like she'd been crying for weeks, and they kept trying and telling how America how they were wrong for what they do. We have to move on. We have to move on. But you're wrong. You people are wrong. You screwed us. But we'll move on now. Move on. It was hilarious.
Well, Mike, I got to tell you, having said all that, it's looking more and more like, well, the one thing I think they were accurate about was their concern over deep fakes because, and the role that it would play in misleading voters. Because, they're getting pretty good at it. Take this one right here, for example.
My fellow Americans and autists who voted for Trump, it's your boy Dank Brandon here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the DNC on losing another election to Donald Trump. You replaced me with a candidate who has the same likability as Greasy, hobo taint and expected to win, and they say I'm the retarded one. The Democrats said that I was too old, that I was too slow, that I was a joke. Well, here's a joke for you. What do Willie Brown and the 2024 presidential election have in common? Kamala Harris blew both of them. I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, first Hillary loses to Donald and now Kamala. This man has beaten more women than Doug Emhoff. Anyways, congrats on losing to Hitler again. I hope he locked you all up this time. Dank Brandon out.
Wow. That was
Out. Brandon out.
that right there. That was interesting.
Yeah.
He beat more women than Doug Emhoff.
Yep. All right, come on. We got some more pictures. We got a bunch more pictures we got to put up. People want to see them.
Yeah, well, the problem is when I get these at the last minute, just before I go on, I'm like trying to get things set up. So let me see.
Hold on,
let
folks.
me see if I can get over to Facebook and pull it up. If I can do that.
Hour ahead of time. I sent them to him.
Hour. Oh, see now look who's gaslighting folks now.
Hey, let's be clear. No matter when I send them to you, you get them 3 hours early. Okay? All right? I send them at 6. You get them at 3. That's 3 hours difference, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want y'all to know I'm taking a serious chance here in putting this stuff up because, I know how y'all are. I'm taking a serious chance in putting this stuff up here because we know how Mike is, right?
You put up the F-bomb song and you're worried about my pictures?
Okay, here's the first one.
Yeah, that's what I saw last night going to bed. That's it. All right? Somebody put up the Trump light.
All right. Let's see what the next one is.
That one's just great.
Legends never die. Okay. I don't know what the next one is, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it over. Let's see what we're working with here.
Put it up.
Oh, yeah, the next one is me. Okay, here we go. There's one right there. Bam. Fight, fight, fight. Peanut the squirrel. Okay, Mike, explain this to me because I have not had time to look into the whole Peanut the squirrel thing. Please explain this to me.
A rescue organization had rescued a squirrel and a raccoon amongst the many. Oh, look, he's back, baby. He's on the
back. Ball. Riding that coronavirus.
He's right. Knocking it out. I'm coming for the transition. So Peanut and the raccoon got to be kind of TikTok celebrities. Somebody called the complaint on them. They came. The animal authorities came in and took these two rescued animals and euthanized them. So,
why did they euthanize them?
Because they weren't. They're not domestic pets.
Okay.
Not domestic.
Well, there you go.
You got like one or two more pictures. I know you do. I know you got them in you.
There is this one.
Oh yeah.
You want to read that one for the audience?
And 2 pallets of AR-500 steel bought as a project, no longer needed. Yeah.
Not that anyone was planning an insurrection.
No, not at all.
No one was planning an insurrection. No need to worry, folks. No need to worry.
Here we go. We're going to close out with 1 or 2 more. Here we go. Here they come.
Well, I'm trying to
feel them. We're getting the good ones.
Really? All right, well.
There's a good one on there we can end in. Oh, that's not it. But that's our Louis C.K. I'm going to let you read that one, Craig.
Oh, no. I'm not going to read that one. There we go.
Yep.
Pronouns are your effing president.
That's it.
Is that it, or we got one more?
One more. It should be one more. I'm waiting for the closer. Oh, there he's. If you can't see that, it looks like it's cut off. He's holding a big L out for you. Here you go. There you go, Kamala. Here's a big L for you. Take the L. Take the L.
Take that L. Bye-bye.
Take the L.
Thank you for playing.
All right. I guess I sent you more than I thought. One more. Let's see. We got to get the closer. There's a closer in there. I sent you the closer.
Got that one. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Hold on. Handing the L. Oh, there we go.
Daddy's home, baby. Daddy's home. There's the closer.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, folks, that's going to be it for today. But before we go, we got to do one more thing, and that is give a quick shout out. Got to get that shout out to our sponsors. Take it away, Mr. P.
Yeah, listen, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. What a better way to celebrate your freedom to go buy some gun parts. Go get you some barrels for your next AR. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you don't think you make a difference, go look at the difference between the California Republican results this cycle and 4 years ago. And you know you're making a difference. You want the best in tactical field gear on the market? Get on over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except a gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors as we all get together and work to make America great again. That's right. See, now you can literally say it because clearly the last 4 years, America has been less than great, or at least on a path to less than great. And we're going to get back on that path to righteousness once again. There's a lot to celebrate, folks, but there's a lot of work left to do. So hope you all will join us as we work with our President-elect Donald Trump to make America great again. I'm so hyped. Hasta mañana.
Top of the sword.